So this week we're at Lake Norman for Redcrest in Charlotte, North Carolina. And you know, Lake Norman's a lake that I have a lot of history with. I started my career here. The very first season on the Bassmaster Tour, I won my first Angler of the Year, the last season of the event here. But boy, has the lake changed since then. You know, the lake has really developed. It's got a lot of houses, just thousands and thousands of docks on it. It's got a lot of spotted bass in it. So it's got blueback herring, it's got alewife, it's got threadfin shad, and they have really made the spotted bass population really explode here. So the largemouth population is still here, and there's some really big fish. So that's going to be the X factors. If you can get some of those largemouths to bite, it's really going to go a long ways. You know, this is a 5-fish format now for Redcrest, so that's going to change things up with a lot of the techniques and baits that you're going to see used this week. So Lake Norman, it's a lowland reservoir. It's got a lot of clay points, a lot of rock, and it's got, again, literally thousands and thousands of docks. So it's in winter pool right now. It's about 2 foot low. You know, we're here the first week of March, and we've got a full moon, and the last week has been really warm. You know, they got a couple of big rains and this warm weather, so you would think that it would push a lot of fish shallow, and there definitely are some fish shallow. So you're going to see a lot of patterns really come into play. So, you know, with this full moon and all the docks, the shallow water guys got something that they, you know, really can fish to their strengths, but yet the deep water guys are also going to be out there doing what they do, because it's all about the time of the year. You know, a lot of these fish are still in their winter patterns. They're still offshore. So you're going to see a lot of different techniques come into play. You know, this lake is really clear overall. There's only a couple of areas that have some stained and muddy water on the very upper end and in some of the backs of the creek. So again, you'll see a mix of those techniques kind of come together. For me, I'm going to really cover water and fish my strengths. This is a massive lake. You know, there's only 40 of us out here. There's literally thousands and thousands of acres, and there's tons of offshore points and humps and ditches and drains and a lot of fish. This lake is full of fish, especially those spotted bass. So I'm going to cover a lot of water. I'm going to keep that Ultrex going, and without a doubt, one of the major players for me is the Lake Master mapping. You know, it is such an asset here. I can see all the ditches, the drains, the humps, the points. I'm using my depth shading to kind of highlight those areas, and I'm targeting both shallow and deep areas this week. So it's really important for me. You know, I've got the lake level offset set so that the map is precise. It allows me to go into these pockets and in these bays and see, you know, where the steeper banks are at, where the channel swings at, and just automatically know right what I'm trying to target for the patterns that I have. So Lake Master mapping helps me, so I don't even have to look at the depth. I can just pull in there and know that it has the right ingredients for the patterns that I'm looking for. The other thing is as I'm fishing a lot of these offshore areas, you know, the Mega 360 and my Mega Live are key. So the Mega 360 is showing me where the cover's at. You know, this lake has a ton of just clay flats where there's, you know, maybe a few stumps, but there's not a lot of rock. So the fish here love those little rocky patches, so being able to see that on my Mega 360 is absolutely critical. And the only way to do that is you either got to graph the spot or you got to actually fish it and just see what's out there. And they're on a lot of precise, small little areas. So, and as I'm fishing, you know, I'm always constantly scanning with the Mega Live looking for an individual fish. It's helped me each day to come up with a couple extra bites. I learned that last year, that it just is a great enhancement to my style of fishing. So it's going to be a really interesting tournament this week, because you're going to see a big diversity of guys fishing light line, deep water finesse techniques, shallow power, and everything in between, and a good mix of spotted bass. So this is going to be a true test with the weather conditions that we have coming. It's supposed to cool down. We're going to get some rain. We're going to have sun. We're going to have rain. We're going to have clouds. And spotted bass, they're notorious for biting better in cold weather. So you can tell I'm kind of leaning that direction a little bit myself. So it's going to be a fun week. You can follow all the action live on the Major League Fishing app or on your phone or at majorleaguefishing.com.